Welcome to A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Feast for Crows, chapters 25 and 26, Brienne and Samwell. In these chapters, we meet Dog on the way to find the Hound, and then we meet Cat on the way to find dragons.
Nice.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. So, Harmith, who died in these chapters?
Okay, wait. Brain. Okay, I know that somebody important died, but I can't remember. Okay, Eamon is like teetering on the edge. Like, my guy is... And then there was one in Brienne's chapter, but I can't remember for the life of me.
Who died in Brienne's chapter? I mean, they're carrying around the heads of the ones who died before.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm just misremembering, but I guess, like, was there other significant ones?
Septon Maribald talks about all the dead from the wars. Like, all his people that died.
Yeah, so maybe I just got confused in there.
Okay, so we're back to not too many deaths, I guess.
Yeah.
What did you think of these chapters?
They were so fun. Sam's was especially fun because we had some featured characters saving the day.
Some cameos.
Yes, some cameos. I couldn't think of the words. I was like, featured characters. Yeah, that was fun. I was like, oh my god. And Brienne's was so fun because I just was shipping them the whole time, so it was really fun.
Of course you were.
So these were good chapters. These chapters had my interests in mind. Not really the best interests of the characters sometimes, but I was fine.
Alright. So...
Oh my god, okay, oh my god, when you ask me to summarize... I'm telling you right now, this isn't gonna go well.
Okay, well then let's just get it over with.
Okay.
Summarize in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so, like, Hyle's like, we're carrying the heads. They're like, no. They get back, they talk to Tarly. Tarly is being a bitch, and is like, oh my god, and just keeps insulting everyone. And then he dismisses Hyle, and Hyle's like, okay, I'm gonna keep on keeping on with you. And Brienne's like, what the fuck? And then he's like, we're gonna go with the Septon guy. Why are they gonna go with the Septon? I don't remember. Oh, I don't remember why they go specifically with him. Oh, yes. Yeah,
Switch.
Yeah. Oh, frick. Samwell. Okay. So Eamon is, like, teetering on the edge of death, and, like, he's having all the, not, like, visions, but he's kind of, like, going off a little bit, and, like, he's like, well, I need you to figure out if the dragons are real, because we heard those tales from the Damien guy, who's been off kind of living his best life in the city of Bravos, which I don't necessarily blame him, or, yeah, whatever his name is. Darion, I don't know. And he's, like, off living the nightlife, and then every once in a while comes back to them, but they just argue. Oh, oops. Okay. Wow, I really got weighed down by detail. Okay, that's fine. These were, like, as I was reading them, I was like, ooh, Brain is not receiving anything. Like, Brain is receiving, but Brain is not retaining. Like, it's gonna be like, as we go through, it'll be like a reread almost. Okay, that's okay. That's okay, we have our weeks.
Alright, so...
It's always the ones I enjoy.
So, Brienne, as you said, Hyle Hunt insists on bringing the heads of the men that Brienne killed, even though Brienne's like, they're gonna be rotting and stinking, and, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But he's like, no, we're doing this, and Tarly's gonna put them up on spikes on the castle, and, Brienne's like, oh yeah, he probably just wants to take credit for all this stuff, but to his credit, he doesn't take credit.
Yes. And this whole chapter is just basically her being like, well, he's only doing that because blank. And then he kind of thwarts that in a way. Or, like, she's like, well, he's gonna do that. And then he doesn't. And then she has to, like, kind of reckon with that. But then at the same time, like, Tarly is being just as terrible, if not worse, than she would have thought. So it's, like, this person who's kind of surpassing her expectations, and someone who's not even meeting, like, the bar is on the ground, and this guy's not even, like, Tarly's not even, like, at that level. So it's like I don't know, it's like weird being in Brienne's head, you know? Like, she's hearing some of Tarly's things, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna ignore that, because what the heck? And then some of Hyle's things, she's, like, equally as confused, but in, like, a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because she doesn't know how to trust people, especially people who previously used her as a pawn in a game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also weird because, like, I don't know, it's, like, obviously her and Tarly don't get along, and obviously Tarly sucks, but it's, like, this weird thing where, like, I don't know, like, she has a really hard time trusting people, right? And especially, like, with Hyle being here, like, she's kind of on edge, too, of, like, she's constantly thinking back to those events that happened previously. But, like, it's weird, because, like, Tarly's kind of different, because he's, like, wicked in a different way, where, like, he's just, like, he's obviously, like, being honest with her about things, but he's just so, like, rude and annoying that it's, like, it's, like, different, and it's just, like, I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's just, I'm just comparing it, I guess. Like, Hyle versus Tarly, I guess, has been on my mind while reading this chapter.
Right. Different kinds of evils.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, basically, Tarly's like, okay, good, you killed him. Now are you done playing a knight, and will you get on a ship and go home already? And she's like, no, I'm gonna find Sansa. And he's like, well, you're gonna get raped and die, so have fun with that. You don't have the hospitality of this castle, even though I'm not the real lord here, but who's gonna challenge
me? Yeah.
Yeah. So Hyle's like, well, maybe you could find an inn, you know?
Yeah.
And Brienne's like, okay, whatever. Get out of my face. And he's like, well, I could help you why don't you meet me at the Stinky? Is it Stinky or Stinking?
Stinking, I think.
Stinking Goose. Smelly Goose.
Yeah, but yeah, but right before that, like, when they're still kind of talking to him, he mentions someone named Stoneheart, and then later we talk about it. But at this point, I was like, oh my god, Catelyn feature? Like, bro, these chapters had so many features, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, and then, like, there's all this confusion about, like, how many people are in each, like kind of sector of the Brotherhood that's now, like, kind of informed. They're kind of like, oh, well, like, some small folk think, like, that, like, Hound's got, like, 1 billion people behind him, but some people are like, no, there's, like, you know, we've heard the small folk tales, we've been there for them. So there's all this confusion because of that, and yeah, so it's weird, but we'll talk about it more. But yeah, he's like, meet us at the Stinking Goose.
Yes, and she's like, okay, fuck you. Maybe I'll see you. I don't know. So she and Pod leave, and they don't find room at any of the inns that are still functioning. So Podrick has a brilliant idea to rent some space on a ship. And I was like, go Pod, you know?
King Pod. Eat it up, Pod.
And they go, like, ship to ship for a while. Some people think that she's a sex worker selling her wares, and she's like, no, I just want somewhere to sleep. And then somebody's like, oh, you want to sell Podrick? I'll give you a good price.
Oh my god.
Like, a lot of you know, interesting characters she meets. She goes by the Sea Strider that's just come from Old Town by way of Tyrosh, Pentos, and Duskendale. So basically, like, the reverse journey of that Sam is hoping to make, you know?
Yeah.
And they're heading to Gulltown next, and then White Harbor. And I was like, ooh. If, like, Brienne got on this ship, then she could go see what's going on with Davos, you know?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. That's true. That's why it was so familiar. And then I just was like, well, we've heard, like, all the ship names have the same vibe because they're ship names, but oh my god, she could. Ugh. It's okay. Backup plan.
Yeah, so she's like, no, thank you. I'm not heading north. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
And okay, so remind me of something.
Yeah.
When she met up with those fools where she hacked their heads off, not she didn't actually, like, kill them, right?
Yeah.
So she found out that the Hound was with one of the Stark daughters.
Yeah.
But she knew that that was Arya, right? And not Sansa? Or was it just like, oh no, the Hound had the Stark girl and that's all? And then she's like, maybe Sansa is with, like, I guess she did put it together that it's Arya.
She didn't. That's why we were like, oh, like, maybe she'll eventually. Yeah, no,
maybe she'll, like, end up finding Arya accidentally, but not, like... Okay, yeah, exactly. Thank you for reminding me.
Because there was no, like... Yeah, because there was, like, it was just kind of like, oh, he has the Stark girl, and then she just was like, well, this must be Sansa, because Arya hasn't been heard of for years. Like, she didn't even think about Arya, I think, which is kind of sad. Yeah.
No, fair. I just wanted to, like, remind myself. So she's like, okay, right now she's thinking that Sansa is with the Hound.
Yeah.
Not Arya. And she's like, okay, I'm going to follow that trail, and if that doesn't go anywhere, then maybe I'll go north.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and, oh, I do like this, like, Pod's like, well, maybe she is there, because that's her home, that's where her gods are, and the gods can't die.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, Pod doesn't say a lot, but when he speaks, it's always bangers.
Yes.
Like, in these chapters, it's like, we'll have, like, Brienne monologue for, like, 5 pages, and then Pod says, like, one thing, and it's always just, like, slay. Like, go off.
Yeah, Pod, the one-line god.
Yeah, Pod, the one-line god is so real. Oh my god.
So they continue looking for ships, and, like, you know, eventually they come upon the Lady of Myr, which is a trading galley that's, like, been damaged with storms and stuff. So the captain is desperate for some extra money. So he's like, yeah, y'all can have this cabin. And they do. But it's not a very restful night because Brienne's being haunted by Nimble Dick and all the people she killed, and Tarly and Vargo Hoat, and, like, Red Ronnet Connington, the guy who was supposed to be or was at one point engaged to her.
Yeah.
She heard in her dream, Ronnet had a rose between his fingers. When he held it out to her, she cut his hand off, and I was like, that's right.
I'm dead. That's so funny.
I just, you know.
Yeah, she's distressed, but we're like, as she should, queen. Yeah, this is just like, she feels guilty, but then she's also obviously mad about all the Randall stuff, and it's just like you. Yeah, like, I've been having really weird dreams recently where it's, like, my brain is just making random mashups of random people that I've encountered in my life.
Yep.
And doing, like, the weirdest
classic
things.
Anxiety dreams.
Yeah, literally. It's, like, the weirdest things going on. And, yeah, this is just that. But it was kind of funny. Not the actual dreams, but, like, just some of the specifics. Like, this Connington guy keeps coming back. Like, you know?
So then it's the next morning after the restless night. They go down to the Stinking Goose and get some breakfast, even though it's... I don't know if breakfast is a fair word for it, you know?
Yeah.
The proprietor of the Stinking Goose is like, hey, you were with Nimble Dick, right? Like, what, did he cheat you or rape you or steal your horse? And Brienne's like, no, he was slain by outlaws. And the woman's like, oh, that's too bad. Like, very, like, nonchalant.
Yeah, she's like, I always knew he would get hung or sent off to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it was kind of sad, because we saw her warning him, and then we saw him die, and now, like, the news has gotten back to her, and she's like, yeah, bro, like, I warned him. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's just such a, like, reality that, like, like, death is just so commonplace that nobody blinks an eye at it.
Yeah, they're not like, oh no.
Just another feast for the crows.
Yeah.
But they ended up burying him, so that's good. So he won't be a feast for the crows, thankfully. Maybe for the worms. Okay, why am I getting into this?
Oh
Let's
my
get
God.
back to topic. So finally, Hyle comes in, and like at first, Brienne's like, he's gonna stand me up. He's not showing up. He was probably just, messing with me. But he does show up, and he's like, oh God, I hope y'all didn't eat anything here.
Oh my God. Meanwhile, they saved like half of the breakfast for him. And while he's like, I ain't eating that, like, or not like I ain't eating that, but he's
Wait,
kind of.
did they save the breakfast for him, or is it that they could
Just-
only stomach half of it?
But I thought it was like, okay, well, like, he can have the rest now, you know? But then when he, like, dissed their food, now they're not going to offer it to him.
I don't know if that was going to happen anyway, but okay. It says he glanced at the cups and plates and the half-eaten sausages cooling in a puddle of grease. Like, that doesn't sound like a this is food we saved for you.
I know, but I think I was just romanticizing everything for them. Yeah. Okay, it's not that I thought George R. R. Martin wrote that, it's that I was like, she would have done it.
You wrote that in your head.
Exactly.
Okay, so Hyle has spoken to his cousin Alan, and Alan has news of Sandor Clegane. He was last seen in the salt pans, which interestingly is also where, that is where like Arya kind of abandoned him and then took off on her ship.
Yeah.
But afterwards, after raiding the salt pans, he rode west along the Trident. So like you were right about that. Like that's kind of the area that we're converging on. And apparently at the salt pans, he was looking for a ship. This I found interesting. Like, was he like, oh, I know Arya got on a ship, so he went after her? Or was he just like, I gotta get out of here too? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that I don't know. Everything else kind of like either made sense or like it was kind of in my predictions too, where I was like, hey, he's with one of the peoples, like, you know, they found him sort of thing, but like, I don't know why he's looking for a ship. Like, where is he trying to? Because remember when he was with Arya and before he was caught by the Brotherhood, like when he left the when he left King's Landing and the Lannisters, and then went through all the adventures that we kind of saw a little bit of, like, his whole thing was like, I'm not trying to do much, I'm just trying to like drink some wine and like go about my day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and like he was just trying to get gold. Like he didn't really have like a lot of ambitions. So why would, like, where's he trying to go? Like, why wouldn't he just hang out? Is he like, well, now this is unsafe, let me go across the sea to somewhere else? Like, is that?
Well, yeah, it's who's gonna want him? Because like Hyle says, he's probably trapped on all sides, because there's the Freys who have no love for him, the Derrys and Harrenhal are there, and then there's the Brackens and the Blackwoods fighting, and then Tarly's at Maidenpool, so he's kind of like...
I guess that makes sense. Like, all he can do is go on a ship. And I guess the fact that he's kind of aimless would help him just go anywhere. Like, do you know what I mean? Then he wouldn't be necessarily picky with it. He would just try to get away. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess I just kind of was like, well, he doesn't have a specific thing, so where would he be trying to go? But I guess it makes sense if he's just trying to leave, maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So... Oh yeah, and also he can't go to the Vale because the road is closed by snow. So like, I don't know if we knew that for a fact, but like now it's like kind of, yeah, like the only way to the Vale I think now is just through the sea.
Yeah.
And Brienne's like, but what if he's with Dondarrion? And this is news, definitely. Mm-hmm. Which is that he's not with Dondarrion. In fact, the Brotherhood Without Banners are looking for him. Mm-hmm. And the only reason people think that he's with them is because Randall Tarly's kind of promoting that rhetoric. Right. Because it serves him for people to think that the Brotherhood are turning against the common people.
Yeah.
So, your theory was like, oh, he hooked up with the Brotherhood, so now they returned him to life via their usual methods.
Yeah. But
And
I did also think that it was like, what's it called? Like, it was like Dindarian was kind of removed from that. Like, I was like, oh, but we haven't seen Dindarian and Thoros in a while, so I think the rest of the people just went rogue. Which is kind of similar to what happened, except I guess we still have the Brotherhood doing things. Like, for good.
So then, is it Dundarian who's after the Hound? Like, who helped the Hound and who's against him? Clarify for me.
That's true. Because if Dundarian... Because then who would have, like, realived the Hound if it wasn't Thoros? So maybe Thoros is split up from... But why would Thoros split up from Dundarian? Weren't they homies? Because the thing is, like, that was Thoros' magic. So how could someone else do it? But I guess also, like, we saw Catelyn doing it, and Thoros and Dindarian weren't there, so maybe someone else can
Catelyn doing
that.
What?
Like, when Catelyn was, like, brought back or whatever.
But she didn't do it herself. Somebody did it to her. Like,
no, I know that, but I'm saying clearly someone else in their gang can do it. Or they, like, realived Catelyn and then left.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, I'm just trying to figure out who else is capable of...
Let's get away from Catelyn. Tell me what's going on with the Hound. Tell me your theory about the Hound.
I'm trying to. Like, okay, so I think... Because before, what I thought was like, okay, so the Hound was brought back by, like, an offshoot of the Brotherhood, but the leaders, in my mind, who are, like, Dindarian and Thoros, like, they aren't on this side. So either, like,
so you
the
think,
Brotherhood
like,
broke up
somebody
or
in the
something?
offshoot has also gained this realiving power?
I think so.
Okay.
Or it could be that Thoros and Dindarian have broken up. And Dindarian is still with the Brotherhood, and, like, Thoros is with the offshoot, and is now, like, he was the one who brought Catelyn back. He's the one who has now brought...
So somebody definitely brought the Hound back to life, and is now supporting him, but then there's this other aspect of the Brotherhood that's against him.
Yeah, like, there's, like, the OG Brotherhood, but then... Because they do make... I forget where, but they did briefly make reference to, like, a fight or something as well. And already, because during the Catelyn being brought back chapter, like during the epilogue, we didn't see a few of those people that we were used to being in the Brotherhood. So I was already kind of thinking, like, maybe there was, like, not necessarily a split, but, like, something going on. But now I feel like this confirms that a little bit more, where they're like, oh, but the Brotherhood's against him, but he does have people. But it could also be a thing of maybe they tried to bring him back to, like, help them or, like, be on their side, but then he went rogue, and now he's recruiting his own people because he's just a killing machine, like, you know, at this point. So I don't know exactly the details, but one of those, maybe, I don't know. But I feel like it's more likely that people went rogue. And even, especially this chapter, I feel like his whole thing of, like, you know, what you sign up for isn't what you get, and then you become, like, a broken man type thing. Like, that also kind of is very much, like, unless George is trying to red herring us, like, that is very much, hey, there's people who were part of the Brotherhood but are no longer standing for the values of the Brotherhood. Like, you know? Well,
the Brotherhood are kind of the broken men.
True, but, like, there could be further broken men, like, who have completely, like...
doubly broken.
Yeah, because the Brotherhood still are, like... They're like, no, but we are doing our thing. So there's gotta be, like, a group of them who are like, well, I completely give up, like, you know?
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
Alright.
But yeah.
So...
But wait, so when they're, like, when they were, when what's his name, Hyle was talking about how the Hound is, like, trapped on all sides, also is, like, they're calling Catelyn, aka Stoneheart, Lord Barrick's lover?
Yeah.
That's
apparently
so funny.
He kissed her and brought her back to life because she was supposedly hanged by the Freys, and now she can't die no more than he can.
I guess, so maybe, okay, so maybe there's an offshoot who's going rogue, But then the main one is also just going, like, I know we weren't in a good place when we last saw them, but maybe they're going, like, further down the train tracks. Like, they're just, like, fallen. Like, maybe he's just like, well, let's just bring her back and see what happens. You know? Then they might regret it now, but I don't know. Okay. Interesting. That's so funny, though. It's interesting,
Right.
like, I guess it makes sense, like, none of them really know her, but it's interesting to me that, like, nobody is even hypothesizing that this is Catelyn. But I guess, like, the people who see her die, so all they have is tales of, like, a stone woman, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I guess. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, not like every
person is gonna know what everyone looks like. They ain't got social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Hyle is basically like, okay, so I got this guy, Septon Maribald. He tours the Riverlands, basically, and he's gonna be leaving tomorrow, and he's on his way to the Salt Pans. He knows the way, so we should go with him. And Brienne's like, we? And he's like, yeah, I'm coming with you. And she's like, well, I'm on a mission, like a holy mission, to save Sansa, and you just want to sell her for money. And he's like, yeah, well, if you find her, we'll see.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I won't be serving Tarly because he fired me, so I'm coming with you.
Yeah, so this is not, he's not sent on a mission by Tarly. He's now a hedge knight, a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he's doing.
Slay. Go off, king.
Yeah, she's like, I swore about to save her, and he's like, I swore no such vow. So, she basically has no choice but to let him come with him, especially because Septon Maribald's like his connection. So
I love Maribald. He's so cool. I like him.
Why do you have like he's such a baby voice to you? Like,
I don't know, because I'm worried that, like, I don't know, like, in case he's not, like, I don't know, in case he, like, betrays them later or something. I don't know, I'm just worried, just because you can't trust anyone in this world. But the thing is, I want to like him. That's why it's kind of like the baby voice is just me being unsure of how I should feel about him. But so far, I really like him.
I mean, he's a pretty likable guy.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's just like...
only religious person in this entire story so far that I haven't, like, rolled my eyes at, you know?
Exactly. Like, he kind of is just like... he's just kind of using it as a vessel for, like, charity almost. Like, you know? And just kind of, like, making people feel, like, more comfortable and, like...
yeah, like the good parts of religion.
Exactly.
Not the you'll be condemned to hell parts.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's just kind of like, hey, here's God giving you food, basically, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, wipe away your sins. Like, it's just nice. He's so nice.
Yeah. So they get on their way the next day, and it's Hyle, Brienne, Podrick, Septon Maribald, his donkey, and dog. I don't know if you remember, but one of the questions of, like, who or what, I was like, who or what is dog? And then I also asked who or what is cat, and now you know both.
Dude, wait, I didn't even think of that. That's so funny. What did I guess?
I don't know, but
not...
definitely
not, no.
You were just like, what do you mean? A dog's a dog, a cat's a cat.
I do remember freaking out about that, because I was like, why are we using real live words to mean different things? But I guess they're just names.
They're on their way, and Septon Maribald's got, like, a bunch of food he's hauling to distribute as he goes on his journey. And he just basically lives on the kindness of strangers, and when he can't find any, he just sleeps in the bushes. Like, you know, and they, like, come across a bunch of people, like, you know, just kind of that live out of the way of everyone. And he's just like, oh, here's an orange. And, like, they give him what they can, even though, like, oranges are super expensive. But, like, what he gets are, like, clams, which are not expensive. But, you know, it's what they can give.
Exactly.
And he just, like, listens to their confessions and then absolves them of their sins. So, like, you know,
he's so nice. Also, he just hasn't worn shoes in 20 years, and he's like, my feet are leather at this point.
Oh yeah, I'm getting to that. So he apparently when he first got on this profession, he didn't used to be like he is now. He used to be quite the player. And would just sleep with every woman he could seduce with his godly ways, I guess.
Oh my god.
And giving up his shoes as his penance, which is, I guess, it worked for him, cool. For me, like, what do your shoes have to do with you having sex? You know, like...
Well, it's like, he chose pleasure over his duties. So now he has to be in pain all the time to make up for all the pleasure he had.
But he's not in pain anymore because the cobbler, aka the smith, has basically turned his feet to leather.
But it's kind of like...
I mean, if you don't wear shoes for 40 years, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
But also it's like now he's made up for it by all those times of when his feet did hurt. And now the smith's like, okay, you did your due diligence, here you go.
Yeah.
And he just has these lovely little crafty little monologues. Like, he just because they're because he's like, yeah, the cobbler turned my skin to leather. And Pod, the man of one-liners, is like, there's no cobbler. Like, what are you on about? And then he goes on this thing of like, well, the god can take many forms. Like, the smith, could be in so many of these, little subsections. And he's also a cobbler because he's a smith. And I was like, damn, I would listen to him preach. I wouldn't, just for the vibes, not for, the belief, just for the vibes. I would listen to him preach, absolutely. Bring me to his church, let's go.
Yeah, he's a good theologist.
Yes.
So they are on their way. They're talking about why they're seeking the outlaws instead of running away from them.
Yeah.
And they get into the whole Podrick's like, oh yeah, we seek a maid of 3 and 10 with auburn hair.
Yeah.
And they just have this whole conversation about what they're doing. And she's
I think this is also the asking about the maid of 3 and 10 with auburn hair is also they still only have Sansa on their radar.
Yes, I agree. I think I just I think as I went on in this chapter, I remembered and was reaffirmed in that. But because I know it's Arya, I just kind of want her to know it's Arya, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, Brienne's like, yeah, let's pray for the crone to light my way, the warrior to give me strength, and the maid to keep Sansa safe, all of that. But she's like, I can't share my prayers with Hyle Hunt because he's gonna mock me for my woman's weakness.
My god. Dear God.
I don't know what I'm saying with that, but it's just a point of note, you know?
Yeah. She's just she's constantly thinking about it, and it's like she's a little bit more insecure just because he's there, you know?
So it's basically many pages of their journey. It's super rainy, and cold, and there's mud everywhere. And at one point, the Septon warns Pod from not getting sucked into the mud.
Yeah.
And they're talking. Then they come to Dog because, the Septon's talking about how he's made this journey for 40 years and he does it twice a year. So 80 times he's walked this route. And he's been protected by the Seven, but also by Dog. Which is his dog, because he's God. Yeah, Dog has not told me his name yet, so I just call him Dog. And Podrick did not know what to make of a dog named Dog. I just
plainly. It was such a good sentence. But when he's talking about how many times he's traveled these roads, Brienne's kind of oh, was he? Because she's the people who know the roads the best are the outlaws, so she's kind of starting to suspected at this point that she's oh, maybe Hyle doesn't know him very well, maybe he has a history. And I was damn, Brienne, that's so smart.
Yeah. So then they talk about the wolf pack around the Trident.
Wolf pack, he also I'm just apparently what's his name again? Septon. What's his name? Septon
Maribald.
Maribald. Okay, thank you. I'm apparently just a Septon Maribald fan because he also like
You're not the only one.
I love that because he's also just like talking about like his circuit, and he's like, you know, like the lords have never given me the time of day. Like I don't know what they're about. I don't know their roots, but like I know like all the small folk. I know like all the things, and like it's just so nice, and like I just love like they're asking him like questions about stuff, and like he's almost like their tour guide in like a cute little way, and it's like nice, and like yeah, like when they're going through like like the people that they meet, what's his face? Hyle makes a joke about like, because they see like a pregnant lady and then they see like a young girl, and Hyle makes a joke about like, oh my god, like the gods are with us. We have the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And like Pod believes him because he's a kid, and then Brienne has to literally be like, it's not them, Pod. Like their dynamic is just so cute, especially compared to the journey we just saw them take. Like that one was so painful. Like when they were going with what's his face?
Nimbledick.
Thank you. Oh my god. All these names I cannot keep straight. When they were going with Nimbledick, it was so miserable. But now they're like with the homies and it's nice. But yeah, now they talk about the wolf pack
that prowls along the Trident. Now numbers in the hundreds.
That's crazy. Like,
and obviously this is Nymeria's pack because it's known to be led by a great she-wolf that has no fear. And she fears neither steel nor fire, slays any wolf that tries to mount her, and devours no flesh but man.
It's giving, yeah, I mean, this is also, like, it's funny because her and Arya have kind of both become killing machines. Like,
yeah, but I also like to think that Nymeria is like the manifestation of Arya's anger that she can't always take out on people, you know? I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But imagine if Nymeria and Arya could be reunited, and then like Arya would have literally a wolf pack of hundreds behind her.
Yeah.
She could kill everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Who needs faceless men when you got your wolf pack?
Truly.
And especially like cuz cuz if they do eventually rejoin one day, it's like she's got the wolves, Dany's got the dragons. Like, we're just kind of building animal armies up. Like, you know, it's like a nice little thing.
Yeah, be cool. So, okay, more of the same. They're on their journey, and
they stop at a little village, and they're worried about broken men skulking around.
Yeah, and this is what gets them on the topic of broken men. And this speech by Septon Maribald is very famous. Like, it's known as the Broken Man speech, and you can probably imagine why.
This was
you were saying his, like, what did you say? Like, his cute little monologues or, like, something? And I was like, there's nothing cute nor little about them, but they are very impactful.
Yeah, but you knew what I meant.
I know what you meant, yeah.
Yeah, Bro, I read it, and I had to just kind of close the book and sit there for a second, and then go back.
I've read it multiple times, and I get, like, goosebumps every time. Like, especially, like, so he's talking about how they get taken from their homes, thinking they'll get glory, but really they're just ill-fitted and ill-prepared for what's to come, and all their people die, and one day they look around and realize all their friends and kin are gone, that they're fighting beside strangers beneath a banner that they hardly recognize. They don't know where they are or how to get back home, and the lord they're fighting for doesn't know their names. Yet here he comes, shouting for them to form up, to make a line with their spears and sides and sharpened hoes, to stand their ground. And the knights come down on them, faceless men clad all in steel, and the iron thunder of their charge seems to fill the world. And the man breaks.
Dude, George R. R. Martin fucking went off. Like, he wrote this on, like, some sort of drug. Like, he just, like, you know what I mean? It, like, heightened him. Like, he just, like, this was and it just, like, I feel like every single sentence of the speech, you could apply to a different real world group or like person or something.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is just so cool. Like it's so like it's so good in world and out of world. Like you could take any of these sentences out of context and use them like, you know, it's just so good.
This speech is basically Martin's thesis for the entire story, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. That's true. Yeah.
And it's really well done. And the way Mirabald is speaking with this like familiarity of all what these men go through, that Brienne's like, oh, which war did you fight? Like, how old were you when you had to fight? And apparently no older than Pod. And
sorry, just at the end of his speech, like he says like, in times like these, the traveler must beware of broken men and fear them, but he should pity them as well. That one, I think, hit me the most. Like, that, like, all the other ones, I was just kind of, like, I was more in awe of the speech, but that one kind of, like, really landed, and I was like, dude. Like, people need to, like, people need to just keep that quote in their mind all the time. Like, yeah. It just, that was really good. I can't believe, like, because you know how, like, if an author, like, starts writing a book, right? And, like, you're doing it because you're super passionate or whatever, like, there's probably certain things that you thought about the day you started writing, you know? And this speech must have been one of those things where, like, he's had this for so long, and then in the 4th book of this gigantic series, he's like, okay, I'm gonna lay it all out on paper. Like, it's just a crazy thought. Like, he finally now can, like, put it, because he's always, like, alluded to those things, right? Like, we'll have those scenes with, like, Arya and the common folk, and, like, we'll, like, kind of see what's going on, and, like, some of the things they're suffering, but, like, here he just kind of lays it all out, and it's like, damn, he had to wait before popping off, you know, to make it, like, so much more impactful. Yeah, this is a good speech.
And yeah, like, this is, like, part of his, like, personal philosophy, like, that comes through in the books is, one of the things about him, because he's super old, right? Okay? But he was around for the Vietnam War, but he was a conscientious objector to the war, so he didn't have to fight in it.
Okay.
But, like, his philosophy of, like, war is bad. Like, even though, like, in these books, we see people, like, get off on all the wars and, like, you know, earn their glory and whatever. And, it's, you know, we can recognize fights and be like, that was cool. He's very specific about showing us the other side of war, which is more of a reality for more people.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Go off, George.
Now you have read the speech.
Damn. This is good. This is like, yeah. I feel like, because I remember asking before, like, oh, like, what are people's favorite quotes and stuff? And damn, the way people probably had to be like, well, I can't talk to you about that. Like, you know?
Yeah. Now everybody come tell us what you think about this speech.
Yeah. Oh my god. Next question of the week. What's your favorite line of the speech? Because there could be so many answers. Like, like, bro, this speech is 2 entire pages. Like,
yeah, it's super long.
Damn.
But it's pretty good. And
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I want to say, like, so much more, but I'm not gonna.
Oh my god, say.
Well, I want to say that, like, you can really see this being a very good dramatic moment, like, in the show. Like, you know, having, like, a strong actor perform this monologue.
Did they do it? Did they do it?
I'm not gonna say.
Bro, don't do that. And then 10 years from now, when we watch it, they didn't even fucking include it. And you just said that to make me think about it and then get sad when it wasn't included.
Well, it's 10 years from now, so we don't have to worry about it.
Don't be evil like that. That's oh my god, I want to know so bad. Anyway, yeah, so he fought in the War of the 9 Penny Kings. I don't know what that means, but Okay.
It was the war before this war. Like, before Robert's Rebellion, it was the major war that happened most recently.
Okay.
It had to do with, like, the people across the sea and the free cities. Like, there was, I don't even know all of it, but, you know, it's not super relevant. Basically,
Yeah.
like,
He literally says
it's a war from the generation of, like, Ned's dad. Or maybe,
okay.
like, honestly, John Aaron, too, because he's super old.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, a generation before the generation we met.
Yeah, and even he's like, sure, that's what it's called, but I never saw a king or got a penny, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Insane
It was
chapter.
a war, though. That it was.
Yeah. Ugh.
So, predictions. So they're heading to the salt pans, but he also talks about, like, going to the Quiet Isle. Basically, they're just following him on his journey. What are they gonna find?
They're gonna meet some. Maybe they'll get more info where it's like, oh, I did see a girl with the hound, but she didn't have auburn hair. Oh my god, it's Arya. Or like, we just saw the hound here yesterday. Like, I don't know. I think they'll just get more info.
So they're gonna, like, get more info, but not actually catch up to the hound or Sansa or anyone.
Not
or Arya
yet. Not yet. I mean, they can't get to Sansa, like, unless they really were committed to going to the... Like, she's not on the road, so they're not going to run into her. Arya's far away. I think the most they're going to get is, like, run into, like, the Brotherhood or, like, the Catelyn group or something. Ooh, I want them to run into the Catelyn group so badly. I need that Brienne Catelyn. I don't even know what's going to happen, but I need it, whatever it is. Like... especially we've had so many cameos recently. I feel like it could happen. Like, it's not out of the picture. So yeah, maybe like I
love how, like, in other books characters interact and it's just what happens. In this book, two characters meet and we're like, cameo, because it's so rare.
That's true. Yeah. Because everyone's all over the place, man. Yeah, I think the most we're gonna get is like not meeting up, but like seeing the Brotherhood without banners, having to like either fight or talk it out, like that sort of thing. Okay. I don't know specifics yet because I'm still unsure how the Brotherhood
happen
works.
Before they get to the end of the hound thing.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I think honestly that's like a good overarching prediction. We can just move on to the next chapter.
Let's do it.
So, Sam. They have arrived at Bravos. Yay! Except not so yay. It's super sad. So the general situation is Maester Aemon caught a real chill on the ship and he is dying. And for some reason, Darren got them the biggest room in this inn, even though they didn't need it, but then they were charged like double for it. Yeah. So they're like... they have run out of money. So that was like the first thing. But then like day by day, their money has been running out and they paid for passage on a ship, but the ship didn't want to wait around for Maester Aemon to get better and then just didn't refund that money. They have been losing all their money and there's no wood for a fire in the room because the wood is extra and because it's Bravos, there's like very few trees, so wood is like super expensive. And the last bit of coin they had, Sam spent it on a healer, who basically told Sam like there's nothing to be done, just give him some dream wine and let him rest, you know?
Yeah.
And Darren, who's supposed to be out like making money, like, you know, singing, and then like he has something that he can make money from, has been out just meandering the streets, and eventually we find out going to sex workers and just no longer interested in being a brother of the Night's Watch.
Yeah. Like his whole job was to sing about the Night's Watch, but now he's just like,
now he's singing love songs so that the woman will give him favors and kisses and whatnot.
Yeah. And like they're having a lot of conflict too, where like he just kind of wants to do his own thing, but then like when he's there singing or being annoying, like that upsets the kid and Jilly and like Sam's like, dude, stop, like, and like Aemon's dying. Like this is You know,
Yeah,
like
it's
last
a
chapter.
nightmare.
Exactly. Like last chapter's gang. So fun, so fresh. They're hearing stories, getting a tour guide. This complete opposite. Like, would not want to be
Yeah.
here in this little inn, getting more in debt by the day. Like, even when he leaves the inn, Sam's like, I'm not gonna go through the front door because then the innkeep's gonna look at me. Because, like, we have way overstayed our welcome. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, this is miserable. Like,
Yeah, like
what?
Gilly's miserable. Also, okay, I have another bone to pick with the narrator, because all of a sudden he has decided that Gilly's name is not Gilly, it's Jilly. And it made me question my sanity, because I was like, wait, have I been saying that wrong the whole time? No, he just decided he's going to change it halfway through a book.
That is ridiculous. What?
So, like, I'm reading along and I'm, like, listening to the audiobook as well. And I'm like, yeah, I like, you know, your eyes go down and you're like, oh, Gilly. And then, like, he says Jilly and I'm like, oh.
That's so weird. You gotta, like, there should be an option for audiobooks to censor, like, a specific word, so that every time he says Gilly, you can just fill in the
But
blank.
I would have to censor so many words, because all of the words he says are so terrible.
That's true.
Okay, not fortunately, but a thing that has happened is that he has died since the last book came out.
That
So
sucks.
if book 6 ever comes out, it will have a different narrator. And I don't know, like, make of that what you will.
That's
but,
a
like,
thing to say.
and here's the thing: the book's never coming out, so it's never going to be a thing. But maybe having a different narrator will make us appreciate him more, and we'll be like, "Oh, I miss that old man narration."
Oh my god, that's funny. Damn.
So,
I mean, yeah.
But the narrator for Fire and Blood, super good. I hope they use him.
That's cool.
Okay, anyway, back to the chapter.
Oh my god.
So Gilly is miserable because obviously, but also Sam hasn't told her that he knows why she's miserable.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to confirm my suspicions, and I don't. It's weird though, because it's like, don't you want to like support her in her grief? But
yeah,
he just
like
kind of is trying to ignore
like, at least
it.
Gilly will have somebody who knows that she's in pain and why. But he's not even letting her have that, and I'm annoyed with Sam, and he's annoyed with John.
Maybe he's just kind of processing for now, because there's so much else going on. And you know, sometimes, like, he might just be in survival mode. Maybe eventually he will tell her.
Yeah.
Because I think right now, like, sure, he's not struggling as much as Gilly. Like, he doesn't have as many problems, like, objectively. But, like, he's kind of going through it, too, you know?
No, I get it. But, like, grief is better if shared.
Yeah. I know. I think he's just kind of trying to work it out, and, like, because I think he's also trying to be very,
also,
like...
he's like 16 and just like all the things that we forget about these characters because they make no sense.
Yeah, all the things we forget about because they make no sense.
Although in this chapter we finally get confirmation of Maester Aemon's age. He's 102, so we get a number. I mean, if the Dunk and Egg books took place 100 years ago, you know, like... In fact, you know, George R. R. Martin might be underestimating his age here, if anything.
Right. Oh, yeah. Because then he would have been... Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, we also had Dunk and Egg cameos in this chapter. We had so many cameos. Dude.
Do they count as cameos if they're just mentions? You're just calling everything a cameo.
Yes, I am. Well, they're little features. They're like, wow, look, this other character you know about also exists in my mind.
Easter eggs, might we say?
Yeah, maybe, but I like cameo better because now I've like it's become a bit for me now, you know, to say that something's a cameo.
All right.
Yeah.
So Sam's mad at John still, but he has not written that strongly worded letter yet. The next John chapter we get, it's just gonna be him receiving that letter, and that's like gonna be that's just gonna be the entire chapter.
That honestly, it might, because we know how John gets when he's feeling some type of way. Like, his sulk could take up many a chapters. So, you think his guilt from receiving this strongly worded letter wouldn't take up a full chapter? Like, come on.
Right.
It definitely would. Then the end of the chapter would be like someone coming in and telling him something plot worthy, like of note in the plot, and then it ends. Like,
yeah, it'll be like the others are here, and then like,
oh my god,
it's like, okay, I'll talk about this later. Got some work to do. Okay, so what? Oh yeah, he thinks to himself, and then to Maester Aemon, like, when did John's heart turn to stone? And Maester Aemon's reply is, when you raised him up to be the Lord Commander.
Damn.
Yeah, just him being miserable and sad and all of that. And then Maester Aemon wakes up and he's like, Egg, it's dark. Why is it so dark? Yeah. And Sam has to remind him, you're blind, dude. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this broke my heart, because he's like, yeah, like, sometimes, like this, like, Sam's used to these sorts of comments, because he's like, yeah, since we got here, like, he either doesn't know where he is, or, like, he'll be talking about something, and then he suddenly starts rambling about his dad or brother, yeah, and that was really sad. I was like, damn, he hasn't seen them in so long, and they're all dead. Like, I don't know. Like, whenever I hear an old person talk about their parents, like, that kind of breaks me a little, because then I'm like, well, either they're dead, or, like, even older, and I'm just like, I'm like, and then I just think about it, and I think about, like, mortality, and then it messes me up. Like,
no, we're immortal. Nobody's ever gonna die. Let's move on. Aemon's like, okay, we're right. You're Sam. We're in Bravos. All right. Let's go down to the docks. I want to hear about these dragons. And Sam's like, no, you're not, like, well enough for that. Just rest here, take some more dream wine. And Aemon's like, no, I don't want that. And he tells him about dreaming of Old Town and his brother Egg and Dunk and the inn.
Yeah, he's like, I need to know about the dragons. And I just had a thought, like, imagine, like, him and Dany just met up one time before he died. That would be so nice. Like, her last living Targaryen family member, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
But basically, just more of this for a while.
Yeah.
They have some bread, but it's stale. But fortunately, the cook is nice, much nicer than the innkeep. So the cook lets them, like, have gravy to soak the bread in and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Maester Aemon's like, no, I don't want bread. Maybe I could have some wine, but they don't have any of that.
Yeah.
And sounds like there's some water, but it's the canal water. Like, they don't even have access to the water from the aqueducts. Yeah. Apparently he had sent Gilly to go get some, but, like, literally, dude, she's never been in a city. What were you thinking?
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, she got freaking scared from seeing everything. And
yeah, like, not only is this somebody who has never been in a city, but a city that everybody speaks a language that she can't understand.
Yeah, and it's like, it looks different than any other city you've been in too. So, like, yeah,
exactly. So they boil the canal water, which I guess that is sterile enough, but I don't know.
But it's not like they have options, Nav. Like,
No. I get it. But, like, why doesn't Sam get water from the aqueducts, you know?
I think the problem is that they, like, can't, right? Like, he would have to go to, like, the public fountain or whatever.
Yeah, but why doesn't he just go line up at the fountain?
I don't know. I think, like, maybe he's trying to, like, stay here for Aemon and stuff. Like, even at the end, like, I think he's just afraid. Like, he sends Gilly to get stuff, like, get the stuff from the... Like, he sent Gilly first, and, like, Damon, what's his name again?
Darren.
Yeah, Darren has been off doing his own thing, and he's like, oh, Darren's gonna bring us wine. Darren's gonna do this. And I don't know if it's just, like, he's like and even when he's about to leave, like, you can tell he's, like, kind of just scared and on edge. So I don't know if it's just, like, being afraid. I don't know if it's wanting to just be by Aemon's side all the time in case something happens. Like, I don't know what it is, but he seems really hesitant to leave, so I think that's why.
Yeah. I think he's just in denial about the whole Darien situation right now.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so Aemon's like, okay, we gotta get to the docks. And Sam's like, when you are stronger. And just like that whole thing.
And then Aemon finally is like, dude, I know I'm not getting there, so can you just bring someone to me who's gonna give me answers? Like, I'm dying, dude. Like,
apparently Darren heard a story about dragons, but he was super drunk when he heard it, so he can't relay it properly.
Dumbass.
Yeah. And so Sam's like, it was just a story, but Aemon's like, no, you just like, even the most fanciful song may hold a kernel of truth, and go find that truth for me, Sam.
Oh, yeah. And like, he's like, when he kind of admits, like, oh, I'm not making it to Old Town, and he's like, I'm gonna be with my brothers now, some bound to me by vows, and some by blood, which is so nice, because it's like his Targaryen family, but then also his, like, Night's Watch family, and it's just like, and he talks about his dad, he's like...
Maekar, yeah.
Yeah, Maekar, yeah, basically Maekar always thought that getting the throne was his punishment for killing his brother, because he was the youngest of the youngest, like, you know, what's going on? Or he was the youngest, and then his kids were the youngest.
Of, like, how he thought it was the curse from him having... he used to say that it was his punishment for the blow that slew his brother, which we know what that means, but, you know?
Oh, like he didn't...
Don't you remember how that went down?
I do remember. Yeah.
Okay, like, I'm just saying. Like, it's not spelled out here, like, he accidentally killed his brother, but it's, like, alluded to.
Yeah, so I guess if you hadn't read Dunk and Egg, you could, like, guess, but you wouldn't necessarily know. Yeah, that's true. I just kind of immediately went to, like,
It also makes me feel like, it makes me wonder how, so there was a new Dunk and Egg series in the making, right? Mm-hmm. You know about this?
Yeah, I think someone in the Discord, or you told me, or someone, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's happening, and it's like they've wrapped on the shooting, and it's going to be out next year. So, obviously, like, if you read the stories, you know how that's going to go, but what about the people that have only read the 5 main books? Yeah. Like, how much will they get? I don't know. I'm just interested to see people's reaction to that series.
Okay.
Gotta say, I'm more excited for that than I was for House of the Dragon. And then I ended up really liking House of the Dragon, but I wasn't, like, initially excited for it.
Right. You weren't, like, looking forward to it actively.
Yeah, I was like, I'll watch it, whatever.
Right.
Like,
yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. Can't wait to watch that one in 20 years.
Yeah.
If we...
Yeah, okay, well, I can't wait to watch it in 1 year.
Wow.
Okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming.
For the 5th time. Oh my
Listen,
God.
it's hard to, like, keep track. I assume you would have edited out all my coughing and snot pouring. So people don't know this, but I'm, like, recovering from a cold, but my brain's still super foggy, so, like, things have no meaning.
Real.
Yeah, so Maester Aemon is reminiscing about the bad old days.
The battle days is crazy.
And so he's like, I, for the first time, am, like, you know, what's beyond the wall called death? And Sam's like, you're not gonna die. You're just sick. It'll pass. And he's like, nope, not this time. I dreamt... Oh, he doesn't actually say I dreamt what. He just says, I dreamed. In the black of night, a man asks all the questions he dare not ask by daylight. For me, These past years, only one question has remained. Why would the gods take my eyes and my strength, yet condemn me to linger on for so long, frozen and forgotten? What use could they have for an old man like me?
I remember, Sam. I still remember. Dragons.
Remember what?
The grief and glory of my house they were. I see them in my dreams, Sam. I see a red star bleeding in the sky. We tremble on the cusp of half-remembered prophecies, of wonders and terrors that no man now living could hope to comprehend.
Yeah. Also, he says, my brothers dreamed of dragons too, and the dreams killed them, every one.
Oh my god.
Which also, like, egg question mark?
Right. Because it was his evil one, and then the other one was the one who was, like, septon coated, or, like, he ended up
not septon coated, like, so the evil brother was the one who drank wildfire to become a dragon.
Because he was like, I'm a fucking dragon. So of course he dreamt of dragons.
There was the one who was like an alcoholic because he got he got prophetic dreams and it was too much and he saw dragons.
And then it just leaves egg. Oh my god.
I think there was maybe another brother in there somewhere, but maybe
no, I think it was just them because it was the 4 of them, right?
Yeah, well, I'm like maybe there were 5. But maybe it was 4th son of a 4th son.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think 4 is right.
You might be thinking of, you know, who was the prince we liked who ended up dying and we hated it?
Baelor.
No. It might have been...
Was it Baelor? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
It was Baelor, right?
Yeah, I think it was Baelor.
Baelor Breakspear, yes, of course.
You might have been thinking of Breakspear's son because he would hang out with them all the time because they were cousins, right? So you might just be thinking of that little guy.
Probably. Okay. So this is interesting. He says, I shouldn't have left the walls. John wouldn't have known, but I should have seen it. Fire consumes, but cold preserves.
I don't know what that means.
Like he was up by the wall this whole time, so like it preserved him, like literally, like his body.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought there was like a double meaning that I was missing. I read that and I was like, is he alluding to something? Like, especially because he just like...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, like, it could be the cold preserves or brings back to life, but then we've also seen Thoros of Myr, who worships the fire god, bring people to life. But yeah, basically, he's like, I was in a freezer for a long time, and that kept me good and going beyond my expiration date, but now that I'm out of that freezer...
Yeah.
It's, the stranger waits outside my door and will not be denied. Sam's like, okay, I guess I'll go if you want, and I'll go first find Darian, and we'll get some food and stuff, and then we'll go learn about what's going on. And
I do wonder, though, if, like, anybody else had these dreams. Like, you know all the people who died? Like, all of their cousins and uncles? Like, all of Aemon's cousins and uncles? Like, I wonder if any of them
had these dreams, like,
or
of dragons?
Or if it was just Maker's curse because of slaying.
I think Targaryens have a history of having seers. Like, there was also that in the last Duncan Egg story, the Blackfire kid.
Right, yeah.
Forget his name.
But I wonder, like, if they had, like, I know they had dreams, but I wonder if they had this curse of, like, oh my god, like, dying, like, the dreams, like, all the people who died having dreams, like, if that was a pattern or anything. Or if it's just, like, this Maker's kids just got really unlucky, like... Yeah,
but, like, it's not dreams, like, prophetic dreams for everyone. Like, the dreams mean different things for people. Like, the evil brother dreamt of being a dragon, but not that he... dreamt of dragons. The alcoholic brother did dream of, like, prophetic dreams of dragons. We don't know how Egg dreamt of dragons, but apparently it also killed him.
I don't know. That sucks. I don't want Dany to dream of dragons and die. Well, she has dreamt of dragons, but I don't want her to die. I mean, she also has dragons, but
yeah,
besides the point. But she's also dreamt about her dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she dreamt about dragons before she got dragons.
Yes, she definitely did.
Yeah.
But also, if our theory's true and Jon's a Targaryen, what does that mean for him?
Dreams of dragons and dies. Dude. Didn't even make that connection. That's not good. I can't, bro. I can't. Jon can't die. Like, you know what? He can die, like, in the 7th book. Because if that shit ever comes out, like, I
So,
don't
like,
care
at
who
the
dies in
end of the
that.
story?
Exactly. Then I don't care, like, what happens, you know? But he cannot, if he dies in these first 5 books, I'm a riot. Like, absolutely not. Like, or I guess these last 2, like, I know he doesn't die in the first 3. Cause, like, that's just dumb. Like, come on. Kill someone else off.
Doesn't he die in the first 3, and isn't he just a walking zombie?
Maybe. We didn't see that. That happened off screen.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so back to the story. Sam's like, I'm gonna go. Gilly bar the door, and he gets dressed, and he also, like, grabs his sword. But also of note, which I found interesting, he's beside his sword is hanging the old cracked horn that Jon had given him. Remember the horn that Ghost found buried with, like, a bunch of Night's Watch things and the dragon glass? So Sam brought him with him. Brought the horn with him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't realize that. I just thought it was cool, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want him to, though, like, get angry at Jon and then smash the horn in anger or something. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets his stuff on and he goes out. And because he's dressed all in black and also is wearing a sword, apparently that's just an invitation for a challenge in Bravos. And these 2 idiots start heckling him. And they're like, you're too fat, and you wear colors above your station and whatnot. And it's, like, getting a little tense when Sam... when they're like, oh, are you a lord? What's going on with you to wear black? And Sam's like, I gotta run, but I can't touch my sword, otherwise they'll fight me, and I don't want to fight. And then he hears, he's not a lord, a child's voice put in. He's in the Night's Watch, stupid, from Westeros.
Oh my god.
A girl edged into the light, pushing a barrow full of seaweed, a scruffy, skinny creature in big boots with ragged, unwashed hair.
Oh my god.
And she knows about Darren and how he's down at the Happy Port singing songs to the sailor's wife.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure she was like, damn, people are here from the Night's Watch? Jon's there! And, like, learned everything that she could. And she's probably also just, like, there's no way she isn't in the know about everything that, like, even if Sam wasn't from the Night's Watch, I feel like this same interaction would have definitely happened. But in this case, it's like she has extra reason to, like, be like, what are they up to, you know?
She advises him to say that if they ask him who the most beautiful woman in the world is to say the Nightingale, or else they'll challenge him. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, by the way, want to buy some clams? I sold all my oysters.
Yeah.
And they just, like, she's doing that.
Homies.
And then, yeah. And then the hecklers are like, hey, give us your cloak. And she's like, no, don't do that, otherwise they'll ask for your boots next, and before long you'll be naked. And the heckler's like, little cats who howl too loud get drowned in the canals, not if they have claws. And suddenly there was a knife in the girl's left hand and a blade as skinny as she was.
Ooh.
Oh,
nice.
I just love her.
I love Arya.
Also, she's picking up on, like, weird slang. She calls them camels cunts a couple times, which is not a thing, an insult we've heard before.
That's so funny.
So basically, she defends Sam against these guys, and they, like, run off. And she's like, okay, well, you know, you shouldn't be wearing that sword. It's a challenge. She's like, oh, are you really in the Night's Watch? I never saw a black brother like you before. And then she's like, you can have the last of the clams if you want. I'm not going to sell them anyway. So that's nice.
Aww.
And he asks her who she is. She says, no one. I used to be someone, but now I'm not. You can call me Cat if you like.
Damn.
Who are you? And he's like, I'm Samwell of House Tarley. Oh, and you speak the common tongue. So they're speaking in the common tongue. And then she goes into her own, like, made a backstory of my father was the ore master on Nymeria, and a Bravo killed him for saying that my mother was more beautiful than the nightingale.
Oh my god. She's really committing to the bits of her backstory.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing she says to him is, like, don't tell them that she's more beautiful than the nightingale. And, like,
Yeah.
it's just so funny. I love Arya.
She's building the lore. I love it.
Exactly. Like, when an 11-year-old's trying to lie and they can't be subtle, like, that's basically her right now. Like, she has to really get it in there, like.
She asks him, like, which ship are you sailing on? Because he's told her that he's going to Old Town, and he's like, oh, the Lady Ushanora. And she's like, don't you know she left days and days ago? And this is when Sam's like, I know, we saw it sail away. And when I tried to persuade the captain to wait for us, Darren offered me no help. And the captain refused to wait any longer and left and didn't give us a refund. And then he's like, okay, wait, you said you saw a singer? And she's like, yeah, he's at the Happy Port. He's going to wed the sailor's wife, who only beds the ones who marry her. Like, that's her gimmick, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to tell you a theory. I don't know if I believe in this theory or not. And there's honestly, like, not even that much in this chapter to go off of it. But I don't know how much more there is to add on to it even later.
Period, yeah.
Yeah. So this sex worker who only has sex with people who marry her, some people theorize that she is, forgetting her name, Tyrion's first wife.
Ooh,
Tysha.
Damn.
But that she's got, like, this trauma from, everything we know. And that has kind of led to her using this, like, I'll marry everyone who I have sex with situation. I don't know. There's a lot of theories about, like, this person's Tyrion's ex-wife, this person's Tyrion's ex-wife. This is one of those. Right. And I don't know how much, like, there is to it, but it's an interesting theory to ponder.
I don't know, because, like, how she get here, like, we don't have any other
there's a lot of blanks.
We don't have any other thing of, like, oh, she's traumatized. Like, she just kind of seems to be, like, any other sex worker, like, just kind of doing her thing. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. I don't know.
Maybe I'm forgetting something, and there is, like, another aspect that gets added to the theory later on, but, like, I thought I would mention it, because it's not very consequential right now, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically he's like, what? He can't get married? Let me run that way. And she tells him where to go, and he runs along.
I hate that he left. Maybe they'll meet up again before he leaves.
Yeah, like, if only she could have been like, oh, you know Jon Snow? Like, obviously she can't, but if only she could have. And then he'd be like, of course I know Jon Snow. How do you know Jon Snow? Well, he used to be my brother. Oh, what? Look, come with us and we'll reunite you. Like, you know?
Yeah.
One can dream, but...
Literally. Ugh, I hate it here.
Yeah. So he runs along, he finds the brothel that he's in, and immediately as he enters, one of the women, like, starts, like, trying to seduce him, and he's like, no, I'm not here for that. And then eventually turns out Darren is there with his wife, quote unquote, and he's having the time of his life, and he's like, oh, hey, that's my sworn brother, come on in. And all of that, like, meet my lady wife and blah blah blah. And he's like, well, if you want one of her sisters, I have some coin for you. And he's like, you mean the coin that we could have used to buy food or wood?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Sam's getting mad. He's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be the Night's Watch. All of that. And Darren's just like, actually, I'm all done with that now. I don't want to go with you, and I don't want to be a black brother. So... see ya. And Sam eventually loses his shit, and it just says, Sam hit him. He did not think about it. His hand came up, curled into a fist, and crashed into the singer's mouth.
For once, he was too angry to be afraid.
Yeah, and they start fighting, and eventually somebody else grabs Sam and just throws him into the canal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, next he knew he was outside, flying headfirst through the fog. For half a heartbeat, he saw black water underneath him. Then the canal came up and smashed him in the face.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah, and he's like sinking and drowning. At one point, he's like thrashing, trying to claw his way to the surface, but instead his face bumped the bottom of the canal. And he's like, I'm upside down. I don't know where to go.
Yeah, this is such Davos coded. Like when Davos was in the Blackwater.
Oh,
just in the
how is that Davos coded? Like that's anybody who's drowning coded.
No, like Davos experience coded. Because let me explain. Not just because he was drowning. Because like he's like, oh well, I could just die here, and then he's like, no, but I gotta go kill Melisandre, and then Sam's like, no, but I gotta go. Like he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. And then he's like, hey, I gotta. If I die, bro, like who's gonna take care of Aemon, Jilly? Like I have to swim. I have to swim.
Gilly, don't do this to me.
I'm sorry. Gilly, he has to do it.
Yeah. But then he hears a splash and then feels somebody's arms around him, and he's pulled out of the water, and it's a Summer Islander who is like basically doing CPR, trying to get the water out of his lungs.
Sam's clearly never heard of CPR because he's confused. Yeah. He's like, why are you
stop that?
Me?
I haven't drowned. And his rescuer's like, no, because... And you owe Zondo many feathers. You ruined my cloak.
Okay, so is he rich? Because the rich ones have feathers, right?
That I don't know. I think it's like a traditional Summer Islander garb to have feathers. Zondo was there, like heard what was going on, saw Sam fall, rescued him, and is like, I'm a mate on the Cinnamon Wind, and I know of these dragons.
Damn.
Now, let me tell you some things. Cinnamon Wind, the captain of Cinnamon Wind is the guy who met Dany in Karth and told her of Robert's death and
she
hung
just
out
told
with
him
her
everything.
Dragons. Yeah.
This was the guy that we were like,
well, this
why
is
are you
the
telling him
mate,
everything?
so the captain is like another guy, but I assume the captain shared and...
Oh my god. Because literally even then we were like, Dany, what are you doing? You're just out here telling everyone everything.
Yeah, but these are people who can really tell Aemon
everything
about. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
So that's cool. And Sam lives to see another day.
Yeah, damn.
So yeah, what do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know. For a second I was like, what if Aemon's like, you have to go find the dragons, you have to ditch the Night's Watch mission, and then Sam's mad enough that he just does it, and then I was like, no way he does that. Like, he's gotta, wait, what's he here for? Oh, to learn how to be a maester. I was like, wait, why is Sam even here again? Yeah, but like, maybe as part of his maester studies, he could do like a little internship somewhere else, and during that, he can go find Dany.
Cool. Okay, so are they gonna get Darren to come back and join them, or is that just a lost cause now?
I feel like it's a lost cause.
Okay. Are they gonna be able to make it to Old Town, given their lack of money and all such?
I think so. I think they can figure something out. Like, maybe Arya can hook Sam up with a job. You know, or like, right. Obviously easier said than done, but like, I feel like they can figure out something.
Okay.
Or maybe like,
well, they're
like, even if they convince Daemon, like, dude, you have so much money from doing your shit, if you want me to tell Jon to not like banish you, then give us some money or like something. Like, maybe they can talk to him, but not that I think he's the most logical person who's gonna listen to them. Especially he's already here, like, what's Jon gonna do, you know? But, like, maybe they can try. So I think they can figure out enough just to, like, get out of here, maybe. But if they don't, then I guess Sam can try to just learn more about the dragons, or, like, join the Windbreaker people on the ship, and, like, go back.
Windbreaker people?
Cinnamon Wind. Not
Okay.
Windbreaker. Cinnamon Wind, or like a different ship. But the thing is, if they can't find passage to Old Town, how's he gonna get passage to, like, the free, like, even further? So, I don't know, but I think he's gonna somehow get out of here, maybe.
Okay.
Even if it takes a
Will
second.
there be any consequences for Darren abandoning the Night's Watch?
Not immediately. And maybe not ever, because, like, who's gonna catch him, you know?
Right, yeah, John's gonna, like, come out on a mission to punish him personally.
Yeah, find him.
And then he and Arya will be reunited.
Oh my god, he's gonna be the reason everything is set right. Like, that's so funny. Yeah.
Alright. Maester Aemon, he gonna survive this journey?
There's no way, unfortunately.
Okay, so, like,
Maybe
when does he die?
Maybe he takes his final breaths as we hit Old Town.
Okay.
Which would be kind of
like, I have seen it now, I can, like, rest in peace, you know?
Yeah, but that might also be the thing that gives him the heart attack if Old Town is going poorly. Like, because of all stuff that's going on or something.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, Arya seems to be thriving in her new role as Cat of the Canals.
She's killing it. I love. She's scaring all the random people away. Go off.
Yeah.
She's like a regular Robin Hood. Like, go off.
Okay, so I guess next chapters, give me your predictions and hopes. Hopes and predictions.
I want to see John. And I
of course you do.
And I want to see Danny.
All right. Well, you're not getting either.
That's so fun. Chapters 27 and 28.
So we're reading chapters 27 and 28 next time. What if I were going to tell you we're reading 3? How can you just assume?
We've read 2 for basically this entire book. I think there was one time where we read 3.
There wasn't, actually. It's because they're so long, these chapters. Well, next time we're reading chapter 27, Jaime.
Ooh, exciting.
What do you think we're going to see from him?
Well, Cersei's sending him on dumb missions. He's going to be dreaming about Brienne. What was he up to? Oh, he's just trying to stop her from doing dumb things, right? And, like, what was the recent thing where he went into, like, she was, like, showering or something, and he went, what was he yelling about?
Loras not being not training Tommen.
Oh my god, maybe he trains Tommen until someone else can. He'll be like, do this. Tommen.
Yeah, but how is he gonna train one-handed?
You can't, but can't he just, like, I guess, because he's still, like, learning, so he has to, like, correct and do everything. Okay, I guess it can't be him. Maybe he'll be like, Loras, just do it secretly, don't worry. Like,
okay, alright.
Yeah, because I just don't know what he's gonna be up to. Maybe Cersei will send him on weird missions. Maybe we'll get some news about stuff. Maybe he'll have an intervention for Cersei. Who knows?
Okay. Chapter 28 is Cersei.
Oh my god. Okay, why are we being set up for King's Landing back to back? I'm scared now. Is this the epic breakup?
I don't know.
Okay, wait, cause... Well, okay, I feel like it's probably... Who were the religious people? The crows?
Sparrows.
Thank you. It's feast for crows, but they were the sparrows. So I think maybe the sparrows stuff is going to come to a head. Because if we're having King's Landing back to back, there's got to be some action going on. So maybe like the sparrows are, you know, like we've been ignoring them the whole time. And like we're not appointing the Septon quick enough. And they're going to... because they've been slowly getting, like, more people on their side,
I would like to nominate Septon Maribald for
Yes! Me too. I agree. Yeah, so maybe they're just kind of dealing with the fallback of that.
Cool. Okay. Well, okay. I'm okay with those predictions. Do you want to hear an email?
Yes!
This email is titled, I've reached the end. Now I have to actually wait? ? Exclamation point, question mark.
That's so funny.
This email is from Gurshir, and it reads, Hi, Hermit and Nav. I hope this email finds you both well. I started listening to your podcast in August, and I caught up to you last week. I just finished A Feast for Crows, so I had to take a moment to tell you how much I've enjoyed the journey with you both. Your discussions have seriously made my commute to work something I look forward to.
That's so nice. I love that.
I was in a similar boat to Nav when I began reading the books. I'd watched the show and already knew most of the theories floating around, so I was specifically looking for a podcast with the kind of dynamic you two bring. One spoiled one like me and the other unspoiled. And finding a podcast hosted by two fellow Punjabis, that was the best surprise.
Oh.
This makes me be like, maybe we should start speaking more Punjabi on the podcast and just like...
Yes. Bro, because so much of it's funny, like, so much of our audience is literally from India and stuff, because they find us and they're like, whoa.
I mean, we can like translate what we say, but sometimes there's not like, you know,
yeah. Sometimes
not the
there's
right
not
words.
the word. Yeah, it doesn't feel right, and then people are like, what, you know?
Yeah. Now, about the book itself, I have to say, A Feast for Crows is probably my second favorite, if not my top favorite in the series. Maybe that's because the show didn't cover blank. It's
Hello?
not very... it's
Tell me.
No, but I absolutely loved it. My question for both of you, especially Nav, did you expect to enjoy this book as much as you did/have? Because from what I have read online, I thought the quality would dip after A Storm of Swords, but honestly, it didn't at all. Did I expect to enjoy this book as much as I did? That's a good question. I think, yeah, there were definitely things I had heard that I was like, oh, maybe this won't be my favorite. Like, reading it, I was like, y'all are crazy. Like, this is so good.
Oh my god.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think, like...
Did you expect to enjoy this book as much as you are?
I don't know. Because, like, I think I know and yes. I think the fact that you, like, loved it so much, I was worried, like, oh, what if I don't love it as much? But then also the fact that you loved it so much made me think that I would love it. And also coming off of the third book, like, I think because the third book ended well, like, you know how we went from the Starks getting completely screwed over to everyone else slowly starting, like, the Lannisters finally getting some of the debt repaid to them?
Yeah.
I think, like, I was kind of in a hopeful spot, but then I was maybe worried because every book has a different vibe, right? Like, because I think with the second book, like, obviously I enjoyed the second book, but if I had to give a least favorite, it would definitely be that one. So I think I was worried, like, oh, what if it trades off? Like I liked the first one more than the second one.
Good and bad and good and bad.
Yeah, so I think, I don't really know. I try not to go into it with too many expectations because, you know, I really don't know. But I think I definitely like it more than I think I like it a bit more than I expected. Because I'm really getting into it now. And I think I didn't expect that. So maybe, yes, I like it more than I expected.
Okay.
Maybe that is the answer.
Good answer. So, Gurshir continues, I also wanted to ask about Lady Stoneheart's story. Where do you both see it going? Do you think she'll succeed in her quest for vengeance against the Freys? I've been wondering if Arya might be the one to give her the gift of mercy she denied the Hound. They are both on a similar quest as well. What do you think?
Ooh, maybe.
I think I've said this before, but I really want Lady Stoneheart and Jon to meet up at some point.
Yeah.
As far as, like, yeah, Arya, like, being the one who kills her, like, for real, that would make some kind of sense.
Yeah, but she's also, like, already so traumatized. I don't know if she needs that. I know I've literally said she's gonna run into Sansa or Arya and that's how it's gonna end. I know that I've said that, but that doesn't mean that I want it. So maybe I do think it's gonna happen, but I don't necessarily want it, you know?
Yeah, as for the quest for vengeance against the Freys, I mean, she seems to be doing well so far.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I think because we saw her that one time and then we haven't seen her since. So I kind of want to know what's going on first before I kind of have an opinion on it, you know?
Right. That makes sense. Before I wrap up, I just want to say that this is the first fan email I have ever written. Oh my god. I'm so honored.
Oh, wait, oh my god, that's so cool.
So I hope it's not too long. Are you kidding? The longer, the better.
Yeah, literally. Like, come on.
I really wanted to thank you both for all the hard work you put into the podcast. It's been such a joy to listen to. I'll definitely miss hearing your voices on my 2-hour commute to and from work and occasionally the gym. Keep doing what you're doing. Best wishes, Gurshir. Oh, thank you. We will keep doing what we're doing. And now you can join in on the conversations. Like, you can email us, you can join the Discord, and we can talk about things as we talk about them, you know?
Exactly. Oh my god, thanks so much for emailing. You sound so cool.
Yeah, thank you for the email. Send more.
Slay. Yeah, exactly.
Ah, that was amazing. Okay, so that's it for emails this week. But because we're like now, this might be too soon, but since we are more than past the halfway point of this book, I just want to start putting it in people's minds to, if they want to send theories or questions for the end of the book.
You're getting earlier and earlier with these.
Maybe start thinking about it, you know? Just start thinking about it. Who knows? Well, it's like my professors, like, they're now reminding us of all the essays that are due at the end of December. They're like, remember, that's the thing that's happening. Oh. So, like, that's what I'm doing with our listeners. Like, it's a thing, so just start thinking about it.
That's funny. When did we started this book, like, this year, right?
I think so. I mean, we can check the date the first episode came out. 1 second. April 3rd.
Damn! So we're gonna be done this book by, like, the end of this year of school. Like,
yeah, probably. It is cool. So, email us. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram @popculturesymposium. Join the Discord. And if you write a review, send us a screenshot of it, because I don't know how to look at those. So don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you. It's just a weird situation to be in.
And I guess until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.